Hello everyone, Prasad Domla here. Today I'll show you how to install and configure Oracle Webcenter Content 12c, that's 12.2.1 version. Webcenter Content is an enterprise content management system which can be used to manage the entire life cycle of digital content like document creation, collaboration, approval, revision, publishing, search, archiving and destruction. It acts as a centralized content management system which helps enterprises to unify and manage all types of content. It also saves cost and it reduces redundant documents and it also increases efficiency. Coming to the components of Webcenter Content, it has a repository where the content can be stored. It can be either file based or database based repository. And it comes with the IBR, that is inbound refinery, which is used for content conversion, and it's capable of converting between different document, image and video formats. It has records application which is used for document retention based on enterprise policies. It also comes with Webcenter Content Capture component, which is used to capture physical documents and store them digitally in Webcenter Content repository, which can then be accessed based on the permissions set by the administrator. Webcenter Content can be accessed using a browser, a desktop client and mobile applications for both iOS and Android. Now let me tell you about the environment we'll be building today. I'm using Oracle Linux 6.7 64-bit virtual machine to install and configure Webcenter Content. And Webcenter Content is an application which runs on Oracle WebLogic server. But in 12c, we don't need to install WebLogic separately. It comes bundled in Fusion Middleware installation itself, along with Oracle Common, RCU, and JRF and EM domain templates. So we'll be installing Fusion Middleware Infrastructure 12.2.1 version, which creates Fusion Middleware Home, along with WebLogic 12.2.1. Next, we'll be installing Webcenter Content software which creates WCC Capture and WCC Content Oracle Homes. Then we'll be creating WCC domain which contains admin server, WLS_WCC which is our core Webcenter Content managed server, and WLS_CPT which is Capture managed server, WLS_WCC UI which is used by end users for uploading and managing content, and finally WLS_IBR which is inbound refinery used for content conversions. I've already got Oracle Database 11.2.04 installed for our content schema, and I have JDK 1.8 installed on my virtual machine. And coming to the software, we need two jar files, one for Fusion Middleware Infrastructure and one for Webcenter Content. Let's start with Fusion Middleware Infrastructure installation now. Before starting, make sure your Java home is set and Java executable is added in the path. So this is my JDK path. Navigate to your software directory and execute infrastructure jar file using java-jar command. Okay, this is Fusion Middleware Infrastructure installation's welcome screen. You can click next here. You can skip the auto updates. Click next. Here you need to provide the installation location. That's nothing but our Fusion Middleware home. I'll provide mine as U01 app Oracle product FMW and click next. Next, you need to select the installation type. You can either install middleware infrastructure alone or you can install it along with examples. I'll go with the first option, Fusion Middleware Infrastructure, and click next. Make sure the prerequisite checks are successful here and click next. Uncheck the security updates and click next. Click yes on the confirmation screen. This is the summary screen, and these are the components which will be installed as part of Fusion Middleware Infrastructure installation. You can click install on the screen. And this process might take approximately 5 to 10 minutes. I'll just pause the video here and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, after approximately 7 minutes, the installation process is complete now. Make sure all the steps are successful here and click next. This is the installation complete screen. You can click finish here. Now our Fusion Middleware infrastructure installation is complete. Next we need to do the Webcenter content installation. So from your software directory, execute Webcenter content installer using java-jar again. Okay, this is the welcome screen. You can click next here, and as usual skip auto updates, and then you need to provide the middleware home. So you need to provide the same middleware home used during our infrastructure installation. So that's /u01 app Oracle product FMW. If you want to make sure you're using the correct middleware home, you can click on the view button here, which will list down all the existing contents of this particular middleware home. So as you can see, we have our infrastructure 12.2.1 already installed in this particular middleware home. And click next. Make sure the prerequisites are successful. And then this is the summary screen. You can click install here. And again, I'll pause the video while the installation is in progress, and I'll get back when it's complete. Okay, as you can see, the product installation is complete now. You can click finish. So now our Webcenter content product installation is complete. Next we need to create our Webcenter content repository. So we need to create a repository on the database for Webcenter content schema before creating and configuring the domain. So as I said earlier, RCU will be installed under Oracle Common as part of infrastructure installation. So let's navigate to our Oracle Common. That's U01 app Oracle product FMW Oracle Common and then bin. So from this directory you need to execute RCU. Okay, this is the welcome screen of RCU. Click next here. Here you have two options. You can either create a repository or drop repository. In our case it would be create repository. Under create repository you have three options. There are two steps in repository creation, basically system load and product load. System load requires sysdba privileges. So if you have sysdba privileges, select the first option, which performs system load and product load. If your DBAs are not willing to give you sysdba access, you can select the second option, which generates SQL scripts for system load, and you can give those generated SQL scripts to your DBAs to execute them as sysdba. After the system load is performed using SQL scripts, you can run the RCU again and select the third option, which performs the product load. So I'm going ahead with the first option because I have sysdba privileges on my database. So select that option and click next. Here you need to provide the database details. In my case, my database is Oracle database. The host name is Oracle Linux 6. Port number is 1521. Service name is ORCL. Username is sys. And password. So the DB prerequisites will be done now. So make sure all the prerequisites are met and click OK. Here you need to specify a new prefix for your Webcenter content schema. I'll give mine as WCC, that's Webcenter content, and then you need to select Webcenter content schema here. So as you can see, once you select the Webcenter content, all the dependent schemas will be selected automatically, like your metadata services, OPSs, that is platform security services, audit services, append and viewer. So under Web Center content, you have Web Center content complete, and then you have Web Center capture, then you have Web Center content search only. So you need to select these three schemas under Web Center content component. So once you select all these components, you can click next. Now the component specific prerequisites will be done. Make sure all the prerequisites are met as usual and click OK. Now you need to provide a password for your schema. You can either provide same password for all your schema, or you can provide a separate password for each schema. Okay, I'll go with the same password for all my schema and click next. This is the table spaces screen. You can either accept the default table spaces, or you can click on manage table spaces here, and you can customize table spaces for each schema. Okay, like the size, the path of your table space, etc. So I'll go with the default options. I'll just click close here and click next, and click OK on the table space creation confirmation screen. Now the table spaces will be created. Once the table space creation process is complete, click OK. And this is the summary screen. So you can verify all the details here and click create. Now the actual creation process will start. It should take a couple of minutes. I'll pause the video for a couple of minutes and I'll get back when it's complete. Okay, as you can see, the repository creation process is complete now. Make sure the status of all the schema is success here and click close. So now our Web Center content repository is ready. Next we need to create a domain for our Web Center content. So you need to create the domain by executing configuration script from your Oracle common bin. So navigate to your Oracle common bin. And execute config.sh. This will start your domain configuration wizard. Okay, here we need to select create new domain, and you need to provide a location for your domain. I'll call my domain as WCC domain, and then click next. Here you need to select the required templates. So I'm selecting inbound refinery, content server, enterprise capture, and Web Center content web UI. As you can see, other dependent templates are automatically selected, like enterprise manager, Oracle JRF, and WebLogic coherence cluster extension. So once these templates are selected, you can click next. Here you need to provide your application location. I'll leave the default location that is under your user projects applications, and then your domain name, WCC domain. If you want, you can customize your location here. Next you need to provide WebLogic administrator credentials. I'll leave the username as default, that is WebLogic, and provide my password. Next you need to select your domain mode, that is domain startup mode. I'll go with production mode, and then verify your JDK and click next. Here you need to provide the database details for your WCC UI MDS repository. Select your schema and then provide your database details. My DBMS service is ORCL. My host name is Oracle Linux 6, and then port number is 1521, and then the username would be WCC, that is your prefix underscore MDS, and then the password. And click next. Make sure the JDBC connection test is successful here, and click next. Next you will be asked to provide the details of your STB schema. STB is nothing but a service table schema which gets created by default when you execute RCU. It basically stores schema information such as schema prefixes, schema owners, and schema passwords, etc. So again, provide your database details. The DBMS service is ORCL, and host name Oracle Linux 6, port number is 1521, and then schema owner is WCC again. and schema password, and you need to click get RCU configuration. So when you click on get RCU configuration, it will retrieve all WCC schema from your database. Make sure the retrieval is successful here. You can check the status in this connection result log down below, and click next. So these are the schema details which are retrieved. So verify all the details here, the DBMS service, host name, port, and then the schema owner, and click next. Now the JDBC connection test will be done for all these schemas. Make sure the tests are successful for each schema, and click next. If there is any problem during this JDBC connection test, you need to go back and verify the details of your schema. Next, you need to provide credentials for your ADF connect user. This user is used by WCC UI to connect to WCC. So you can provide any credentials here. I'll provide WebLogic credentials. So this user should be present in your security realm. So our WebLogic user will be already present. So I'll use the same user ID to connect to WCC. Click next. Here you need to select admin server, node manager, and manage servers, clusters, and coherence. Here you need to provide admin server details. I'll go with the default server name and port. If you want, you can customize the details here. If you want, you can enable the SSL as well, and then you can provide your SSL listen port. Next, you need to provide node manager location. So you can create per domain node manager, or you can do manual node manager setup. I'll go with per domain node manager, and the default location would be under your WCC domain node manager. Next, you need to provide node manager credentials. So I'll call my node manager administrator as nmadmin, and password. Click next. Here you need to provide the details of your managed servers. Okay, so here we have 4 managed servers. The first one is nothing but your Webcenter Content UI. So I'll just call it as WLS_WCC UI. I'll provide some meaningful names. Next, we have Capture server. So I'll call my Capture server as WLS_CPT. Next, you have UCM server 1, that is nothing but your Webcenter Content core managed server. So I'll call it as WLS_WCC. And finally, your IBR server, I'll call it as WLS_IBR. So these are the 4 managed servers which you need to create, and these are the default ports. For WCC UI, it's 16225. For Capture, it's 16400, and for Webcenter Content core managed server, it's 16200, and for IBR, it's 16250. So if you want, you can modify the listen ports, but it's better to keep the default ports. And click next. Next, you can create clusters. For the sake of demo, I'll just add 4 clusters. Say WCC UI cluster, CPT cluster, WCC cluster, and IBR cluster. So it's not required for your test environments. I'm just doing it for the sake of demo. Next, you need to add the managed servers to their respective clusters. So CPT will go into CPT cluster, IBR cluster, WCC cluster, and UI cluster. And click next. You can leave the coherence cluster values as default. The cluster listen port will be assigned dynamically. And click next here. Next, you need to create a machine. Go to Unix machine. Click add to add a new machine. I'll just call my machine as Oracle Linux 6. and this is the default node manager port 5556. I'll leave it as it is and assign all the managed servers to the machine. And this is the configuration summary screen. You can verify all the details here and click create. Now the domain creation process will start. It should take a couple of minutes to complete. As you can see, the domain creation process is complete now. Click next here. And this is your domain location and the admin server URL. Click finish. Next we need to start up our domain, and before starting up we need to create boot.properties inside our admin server. So navigate to our domain home, and then create security directory. That's mkdir-p servers admin server and then security. So inside security you need to create boot.properties, and provide WebLogic credentials here. Username is equal to WebLogic and your WebLogic password. Save this file and then execute start weblogic.sh to start your admin server. And tail the log. So this startup should take approximately 5 minutes maybe. So I'll just pause the video and I'll get back when our admin server is started completely. As you can see, my admin server is started in running mode now. Next we need to start the node manager. So navigate to your domain home, and then bin directory and execute start node manager.sh. So you should see listener started on port 5556. So our node manager is started now. Next let's log into our WebLogic administration console and start our managed servers. So the WebLogic administration console will be running on port 7001/console. Log in with your WebLogic credentials. So this is WebLogic administration console's homepage. Navigate to servers. So these are the managed servers we created: CPT, IBR, WCC and WCC UI. So let's go to the control tab and start all of them. So this process should take approximately 10 minutes. I'll just pause the video and I'll get back once all our managed servers are started. Okay, as you can see, all my managed servers are started now. It took around 15 minutes to start my whole WCC stack. Now let's log into various WCC consoles and verify our environment. Let's start with our enterprise manager console, which will be running on 7001/EM. So this is your EM console login page. Log in with your WebLogic credentials. Okay, this is our enterprise manager's home page. As you can see, all our managed servers and admin server status here, and we have all our deployments and clusters up and running. So next let's have a look at our Webcenter Content console that will be running on 162.0/CS. Log in with your WebLogic credentials again. So when you log into WebCenter Content for the first time, you need to specify certain configuration like instance names and paths, etc. Content server instance folder is the main instance folder of WCC, which is under your domain home ucm/cs. Next, you have native file repository location, which is location for your native files that are checked into your WebCenter Content. And then web layout directory is for storing web viewable versions of the documents like HTML. And then you have user profile folder, and then content server URL prefix, and then some other instance specific information here. So you can leave these values default, or you can customize them as per your requirements. I'll leave them as default and click submit. So you need to restart your WebCenter Content after saving the configuration. So let me quickly restart it. My WebCenter Content Managed server is restarted now. So let's access the console again. That's 162.0/cs. Now you should get the WebCenter Content login page. Click login and log in with your WebLogic credentials. You should now see the WebCenter Content's home page. Okay, that's the WebCenter Content console. Next, let's access IBR console. IBR console will be running on 16250 port. That's Oracle Linux 6:16250/IBR. Again, log in with your WebLogic credentials. Similar to WebCenter Content, you need to provide certain initial configuration for your IBR as well, like your instance folder, native file repository. In this case, the native file repository is the temporary location to store all the conversion jobs when they are in progress. And when the conversion process is complete, WebCenter Content will pick up these files and put it in WebCenter Content's native file repository location. So you can customize your locations and names here, or you can leave them as default and click submit here. So we need to restart IBR as well after the initial configuration. So let me restart IBR managed server. Okay, my IBR managed server is restarted now. So let's access IBR again. That's 16250/IBR. Log in with your WebLogic credentials. So you should be able to see the IBR's home page now. Next, let's access WCC UI. That will be running on 16225 port /WCC. So this is the UI's login page. Log in with your WebLogic credentials again. Click continue here. So this is the WCC UI's home page, and this UI can be accessed by any end user as well to upload documents. And you have a search screen here. You can browse all the documents here. You can see the default libraries. Then you can browse through your favorites on this screen. So this is the WebCenter Content UI, which is used by the end users. Next, we have Capture consoles. So for WCC Capture, we have two consoles. One console is for administration, that is accessed on port 16400 /DC-console. So this is the WCC Capture's administration console. Log in with your WebLogic credentials. So this is the home page of your Capture console. So you can create and manage your Capture workspaces from this console. Next you have another console for capture, that is nothing but your client. So it will be running on the same port 16400/DC-client. Again log in with your WebLogic credentials. And this is the capture client console. So from this console you can either install the client, which installs the capture client on your desktop, or you can launch the client if it's already installed. So from this particular capture client you can scan and import documents into your Webcenter content. So these are the different consoles available for your Webcenter content environment. And that's it. You now have working Oracle Webcenter content environment, and you have seen different consoles for your Webcenter content. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comments, and please have a look at my blog on this topic for step-by-step instructions on screenshots. I'll leave the link in the description, or you can click on the information icon on top right corner of this video. Hope you all liked the video and found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos on various middleware technologies. So that's all for today. Bye for now, and see you in the next one.